Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And in this video, I will explain about Firewall filter chain output configuration. Output function to block packet coming out of the router. Router to client or router to the internet. For example, when we want to share packet that come out of the router can identify which packet are coming out to the client or to the internet. This topology design configuration steps. In here, I already do a configuration internet access. Check the interface used on the router with command interface print. Here you can see I use Ether2 to connect to the laptop and WLAN1 to connect for internet access. Make a DHCP client request with the command IP DHCP client add interface WLAN1 disable no. Then check with IP DHCP client print do a DHCP client print. It can be seen that we have got the IP address which is 192.168.43.171/24 with status bound. After that, do a ping test to the IP address obtained from the DHCP client request. Ping 192.168.43.171. And the result is replay, which means the router is connected to the internet. Next, enter the command IP firewall filter add chain output destination address (192.168.43.171) protocol ICMP action drop. In the output chain that we use is destination address because we will block packet from the router to internet. Then the destination address used is the IP from the internet. After that, check with IP firewall filter print and we can see that the rule has been successfully added. Then test the ping with the IP address 192.168.43.171 and the result is packet reject, which means the packet has been rejected because the ICMP packet has been dropped from that IP. Next, do a configuration drop ICMP packet from router to client IP. First, add the IP address to the interface Ether2 by using the command IP address add address. In here, I use IP address 192.168.10.1/24 interface Ether2. and check the result of add the IP address with IP address print. Next, setting the client IP on the laptop by using the IP address which is still the same network with router. Click Property, choose IPv4. In here, I use IP address 10.2. Click OK. Do a ping the ICMP packet from the router to client with command ping 192.168.10.2. And the result is replay, which means the router has connected to the client. After that, enter the command IP firewall filter 18 output destination address 192.168.10.2 protocol ICMP out interface ether 2 action drop. In the output chain, the destination address we use the IP address use the client because we will block packet from the router to the client. Then check with the IP firewall filter print. We can see that the rule has been successfully added. Information chain output because we will block ping packet from the router to the client. Destination address is the IP address or network used by the client. Action drop, which means we will block the packet. Protocol ICMP because the protocol of ping is ICMP. Out interface ether2 is the interface used by the client to connect to router. Next, ping the ICMP packet from the router to the client with command ping 192.168.10.2 and the result is packet reject. The packet going to the client will be automatically rejected because the ICMP packet has been dropped using IP 192.168.10.2. Next, do a configuration accepting packet for IP 192.168.10.25. Configure the firewall rule using chain output. Enter command IP firewall filter 18 output destination address 192.168.10.25 protocol ICMP out interface ether2 action accept. Action accept means that the added IP is given permission to send ICMP packet from the router to the client. Check with IP firewall filter print, and we can see that the rule has been successfully added. Do a ping test to the client IP with ping 192.168.10.25, and the result is timeout because there are no connect to client. Change the IP address on the laptop client click OK. If the result is still a timeout even though the laptop is connected to the router, we must turn off the firewall on the laptop. Search Windows Defender Firewall and turn off Windows Defender Firewall. Click OK. As you can see, the firewall is off. Do a ping test on the router to the client IP with command ping 192.168.10.25, and the result is replay, which means the router gets permission to send ICMP packet to the client. After that, drop all IP address from 192.168.10.2 until 192.168.10.254 except the previously allowed IP, which is 192.168.10.25. Configure the firewall rule using chain output. Enter the command IP firewall filter add chain output destination address. The destination address we use is IP network, which is 192.168.10.0/24, because we will block all IP address except the IP that has been given permission before. With protocol ICMP out interface Ether2 action drop. Then check with IP firewall filter print. We can see that the rule has been successfully added. Change the IP address on the client to an other than 192.168.10.25. In here, I use IP address .30. As you can see, the IP address has been changed to 10.30. Next, do a ping that the IP we have changed, namely ping 192.168. Ping .10.30. We can see that the result is packet reject, meaning the packet has been rejected because the ICMP packet was dropped from the IP using the 192.168.10.0/24 network. And that's all video from me. Hopefully it's useful. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.